Hey guys, welcome back. Right, I'm using the GoPro again, but I've actually put a really big microphone on top. Let's see here. So I found out with the GoPros, with the media mod, it either uses the back microphone or the forward microphone when you're using it. So I've stuck my big Canon speaker on top. Microphone, so let's see if the audio is a little bit better. Day 2, John's still with us, Adam's still with us. Hey, say hi. Hello. Hello. That's the most British hello I've ever heard. We need a bit of a tidy up, if I'm being completely honest. This is the place was left last night. Chasing wise, that was the last chase to do. There's 2 switches here. This one's a wooden one. I know it's quite dark in here because it's still quite dark outside. That was the original wooden back box. There was an outside light here, but this is our new height at 120. We are going to tackle the kitchen today. The lads are upstairs ripping out all the wiring that they could see, all the rubber stuff, and just the old wiring in general. For us to give a bit of room, a few runs through the joist where we can run our new cables. All the chases are completely done in the house in one day, which is nice. So I'm going to tackle this in a little bit. I'll get the laser level up. John's got me some Wren kitchen plans that we can go off. We can start pulling some cables in. The lads should get upstairs and downstairs circuits done today. Just run upstairs and say hello. Oh, some VIR. I am keeping some of this, by the way, because I've actually got a collection of different cables throughout different rewires. So I've got the lead covered cable, the copper sheath cable, VIR. I've got some fake cable that I'm going to test, which will be coming soon. One of my members, shout out to them as well, by the way, and JRC Electrical. There you go. He gets bullied in the group a lot.
And I am in it.
And Adam is in the group. Look at this. Some good holes in there, isn't there? No, 32mm holes for the joists.
I think they're bigger than that, to be fair.
Well, it'd be nice if we don't have to cut any holes. We don't want to weaken any more joists. So this is where we're at. It's just really dark because the only window in here is there. So the lads are going to cut these out. Then we'll probably drop down while I'm doing the kitchen. The guys will be running the cables. We explained to John last night about sort of where you go to your first point and how you sort of plan it out, nearest to the board, last to the board, with routing, with different runs on the joist, which way they run. So there's a lot to it, but we'll explain it in a little bit, and I'll go through that. Okay, so while the lads are doing that, I'm going to get on with the kitchen. As you can see behind me, it's been taken to bare brick, like I said in my last video. Everything's already been tested for the builder to do all of this stuff with asbestos and all sorts of things. So I'm going to take measurements on the wall. The wall is obviously going to be dabbed out either side. Dabbing out, really, it's going to be 25mm plus skim, so I'll allow 25, 26mm. We've got the kitchen plan here. It's a Wren kitchen. Try and get this from the side with the camera. Cupboard space, we've got Harman extractor, we've got a sink, we've got a dishwasher underneath, so we'll put the socket underneath the sink. Wine cooler in the corner. Back here, larder unit, tall fridge and freezer, oven in a housing, and a cupboard. So the oven in the housing, we'll put the isolation switch low level, bottom of the cupboard, which you can see here, upside down. We'll put an isolation switch in here for the 6mm for the oven to wire into. We'll also put a double socket in here for the fridge and freezer to plug into, but you could literally put a socket outlet with a single socket attachment for the fridge to plug into, and that's that area covered. We'll put a double socket on the top there. So I'll just set you up on the side. We'll go around with our measurements and just sort of show you how we work it out, quite close to what the final plans are going to be. The first one, so we'll put a pencil, well, we won't really do that. We've got a 450 unit and then an 800, so we'll mark that on the wall. Same problem with this. I would say to anyone, I think this is an ideal pencil, get some of these thick pencils to draw on brick, because any Sharpies or permanent markers you've got, they will literally get trashed with the amount of dust and brick on the wall. Just use a big pencil. So we're just making lines, and then this will allow me in a second to turn the laser on, and then we can start leveling out stuff out. Right, so we've got our pencil lines. Well, you can see this in the camera. Across, 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 across. I've just gave a bit of a leeway, about an inch. For dabbing, this doesn't have to be exact, but it needs to be good enough where we know if we're going to be putting a socket on the wall, we're out of regulation distance from the edge of the hob, the edge of the sink. It's not going to sit half behind the splashback. It's not going to be encroaching in between cupboards and whatnot, if you know what I mean. So if the larder unit, so there's going to be a base unit here and then these are tall larder units, that I don't want to be putting the socket like this where it sits half behind the ladder unit. That's what I'm getting. So now we've got that on, we'll stick the laser on. Anyone keeps asking me as well, this is the GCL 2-15G. I've had this for about 2 years now. Never ever gone wrong. Never ever ever. It's brilliant. Adam's dropped it. The glass at the bottom is smashed. I say Adam dropped it. I don't know. I'm just going to blame Adam. The only thing that's annoying is they eat batteries. And at some point I'm just going to buy one of these where I can just stick on a Bosch battery, but I think the laser's about 500 quid, so one day. Got the laser around. I know exactly where I want to put stuff. We've got an extractor fan here above the 800 unit, which is going to be the hob. The hob's gas, so we're going to do an ignition. We'll do a fuse spur for the single unswitched socket behind the hob, behind the extractor, sorry. We'll stick a double socket in that corner on this side, probably here, for a kettle potentially. There'll be a double socket here under the sink. Excuse me, boys. I dare you. You're always making noise. Double socket under the sink, which will allow the dishwasher to come through, plug into. There's a wine cooler just going here. This is an empty unit. We'll do the same thing, socket low level in there. We'll stick a double socket in the corner, and probably one on the worktop here as well. So we'll have 3 worktop sockets, 2 underneath here. We will stick the hob isolation, like I've said, with a single socket for the fridge, and we'll stick a double socket up here. That'll allow a microwave or whatever wants to sit there. We're going to do a ring in the kitchen. I was explaining to John the difference between a ring and a radial, 20 amp and a 32 amp. Not many houses will pull more than 20 amp on a normal circuit, other than the kitchen, like for bedrooms, lounges, that sort of stuff. Everything's low energy nowadays. It doesn't use a lot of electricity or current, or whatever you want to call it, or amps. But kitchens, I've always jumped backwards and forwards between radials and rings. How easy this is to run a ring. We're going to run a ring. There's only a couple of sockets, but potentially this could be extended out at some point. So we'll future-proof it a little bit, like I said. We'll be sticking a 6mm in for the cooker, and yeah, I'll get some boxes on the wall. Also, because I'm going to be fitting 35mm boxes, the normals when someone dabs a wall off, I'm going to say to you guys when they dab it off, when they put the dot adhesive on the wall or on the board and they dot and dab it on, but normally they only do it to 25mm. And I don't know the builders and I don't know who the guy is doing this. So what I'm going to do, because I don't have any 25mm boxes, we're going to sink some of these in halfway, just to help the next guy out. And just fun. Right, so we've got everything marked out where we want. I'll do an outlet. So what I'm going to be doing, like you've seen in the previous videos, if you've seen the other ones, anything below worktop, we're going to be sticking it in a 25mm pattress. So when my sockets are going to be going in the bottom of the cupboards, we'll fix this to the wall, put it in 25mm pattress. We'll leave long legs hanging out the wall. When I say legs, I mean just the cable hanging out the length of it, probably about 1/2 meter. That'll allow when my box is on the wall. So with this, we will put the socket on the pattress on the wall, 25mm, and this is really just for an anchor point. So that will go on the wall. We'll have a long length of cable. The cupboard will be fitted on top of it. We'll drill a little hole, the cable will be pulled through, and then we can fit a surface pattress on the inside. And this just stops, if the cable ever gets pulled, it's not going to start ripping plaster out and damaging it. It's literally going to be there as sort of an anchor point. And as well, to you guys that are going to start doing a lot of kitchens or are getting there, the reason we use a laser, because it's self-leveling and it can spin all the way around the kitchen without really moving, is main reason for is aesthetics, because we want everything to be as level as possible off the worktop, especially if you've got upstands. But the second main reason is if they do any tiling whatsoever around this whole room, we need to make sure that we're getting this level, because the kitchen ideally should be level when it's fitted, the worktop should be level, so then the tile should be level coming from it, and it should match all the way around. If we've got a socket that's 20mm out here, when it comes around to this side, it could be, well, that 20mm could be the difference between sitting in the middle of a socket, in the middle of a grout line, in between 2 sockets, so in between 2 tiles. So I would recommend a laser. You don't have to get one of these. A cheap red one can do the same jobby, but yeah, that's where we're going. So I'm going to sink a few of these in now, and I'll give Adam the camera and he can run through what he's doing up there.
Right, so me and John are upstairs. I've just shown him how to pull cables through. So in this little toilet here, that light coming through, that's the fuse board. So like where the fuse board cupboard is. So I've got the cable runner and the 2.5 on there for the upstairs socket feed. So I've taught him how to tape on properly onto the rods, you know, leaving like a little tab so you can pull it off nice and easy. Right, so he's done that. So he's rodded it here. He's got it through the existing joist holes like that, and then we just said we're gonna clip all of them now, all the cables nice, so that'll be nice and snug. And we're reusing this here, this socket on the landing, removing that switch as we don't like that. He wants it over there by the stairs. But yeah, so we're gonna put that in there, and this is our first point on the upstairs sockets. And then straight from there, what we're doing is we're running from there across, because it's a radial, through into this room, and in this room this is going to be like an office type room. So we've got from there through here up into that one, and then from that one back down, up into that one, from that one back down, probably come what will I do? Probably come across one and go either down, or I'll go all the way back across and then come along here, which brings us into this corner, and then from this corner I'll go into this socket, from that socket up into that socket, and then straight back down. And the existing wiring already goes through the wall into the other bedroom, like how we would do it. Just get my torch on, so you can see there the cables they've drilled through already. So what I'll do is I'll put a new 32mm hole there and pull the socket cable through, bringing the power into the other room. And then once we get into this room, it's pretty much the same as that other room.
So with the kitchen so far, if I whiz the laser around, you just see here, they're level, that's level. It's hitting like they were level, I've just kicked the laser angle. Great, nice one, show me up here. Spin this round. So this is what you've got to do. Probably sank it in a little bit too far, but I'm better in than further out. You can see the laser just sitting across the brick dust here. Yeah, so now that's in there. It's hanging out a little bit, which is perfect. Probably gone a bit too, but it takes a while to get it as neat as you can. The chaser probably could have done this a bit quicker, but just showing the old school way of trying to sink them in. Okay, so I've nipped to the unit to get some plugs. I've just started using the I just slipped with the thing here. Nice, sorry, I can see myself in the camera. Yeah, I just started using all-round band trick, spinning it, and it's just spun around my finger and just took the edge of it off. So I'm going to go fill the accident book in, get the first aid kit out, and yeah, patch it up. So I'll be back in a sec. Right, that's all done now. So first aid kit out. It's alright. It's one of these that, like I said in the previous video, it's my dead finger, so I don't even know when I've cut it until there's blood on the other finger, which it wasn't that finger that bled. Anyway, I've started putting the all-round band on. I'm getting this up. I'm just making a rack upstairs with John. So for once, I'm finally in. Oh, the noise. There we go. Right, it's finished now. Yeah, I'm just getting on with all this. I went around and took all the old conduit off and all the metal stuff, and I nearly put my hammer behind that and started to rag that off, and it's the gas pipe. That wouldn't have been very clever, would it? So I'm going to start running this in. Adam and John are putting all the cables in for the lounge and the dining room and the upstairs bedrooms on this side. Once they've done that, they're going to transfer everything above here in the little bedroom across, so we can then wire the kitchen in. So what I'm going to do is do all the links. So we'll have a leg in here, so go across the fuse spur for the extractor. This will then carry down to the socket for the ignition for the hob. It will go down low level all the way across, link up. I forgot to put the pattress on here, but the socket under the sink for the dishwasher. That will then keep going down. It will come up to this one. It will then come across the wall, go back down across to the wine cooler, and go back up. This will then loop over to that socket, and then that socket will then go back to the board, which will make our ring. We'll then bring the 6mm in for the low level here, which go underneath the cooker, but I'll just literally put that in and then that be pulled straight through into the back of the cupboard. So I'll get a few legs in now and sort of show you the process of what I mean of you doing the links in between the feeds and the return. Okay, so what I'm doing here, guys, is oval conduit like we've all seen before, but I'm changing it up a little bit. So a lot of people say oval conduit will fit in the 20mm knockouts, obviously it will fit in 25mm knockouts. I'm not putting any grommets in because you can't grommet it and also put in the other conduit, but we're bringing them in enough for it to use it. Well, it will become its own grommet, so it's not rubbing on the metal work of the boxes. So far, yeah, I like it, I don't like it, I'm not sure what are your guys' thoughts, but I'm bringing this down, and this is the long leg out for the hob ignition across to the sink one, but I'm trying to get some angles in, all rounding it back, so everything's all square and level and within the zones. It's just yeah, I don't know, let me know what you think below. Is this better, is this worse? And there's the phone again. So John's just asked about zoning. You know about, we'll go on the 150, so you know.
Yeah, so the 150 from where the walls sort of like meet each other.
Yeah, so John was also asking about the zoning with this. So we know if there's no outlet going, you can run it within 150 of the corner or 150 of the ceiling. So I'm trying to figure out where I'm pointing it. But with here, so our zonings will be straight down to this outlet, which will go either horizontally or vertically. We're going left, horizontally, I always get this messed up, down, then across, and then this outlet covers that. We're going down all the way across, then this outlet covers horizontal, coming back up, the drop here is covered by this outlet, same thing with that, and then this will drop down again, across to this one, and then this one will go back up. So each outlet is covering the zones of where the other conduit is running. And then this side's dead easy, this just comes straight down in 3 drops, switch, socket, and then the cooker cable. So we're nearly there with that. I've just said to the camera, the first time I'm trying is putting the oval conduit into the mattresses. I'm going to be grommet it like you've done everywhere else.
Yeah.
In the kitchen, it's the first time I've tried it, so I'm just seeing how it looks and feels really. And whether or not I like it, will I do it again, or within regulations it's fine, the cable can't get caught on the boxes because of the conduit. So yeah, I think it looks pretty good. We just, this is shout out, do you watch R. Davis on TikTok?
Yeah.
So he just did a TikTok earlier about, he's doing the rewire he got off TikTok. And he said, oh, the wall's being dabbed out, and he's just clipped all the cables down.
Yeah.
Instead of trunking it or conduit or capping or whatever. Which is completely legal, but then I think if a customer come in and saw this, rather than clipping it, I think this is a much better job. I'm not dissing R. David, I really like Ryan, he's a cracking electrician as well. But, you know, I could have clipped all this. Would have been a lot quicker as well. And if I'd used 25mm boxes. But it's the difference between, what I would say is, future-proofing it with 35mm boxes if you wanted USB sockets, and on top of it, doing a job where you can happily take a picture on Instagram and show off and go, I'm really happy with that. Do you know what I mean? I just think it's going the extra step, but it probably has taken me twice as long. Excuse the noise upstairs, Adam's at it again. I've done the kitchen as much as I can now because I need the room above emptied, and the lads aren't near doing it because they've had a nightmare with 2 of the cable drops with joists in the way. So we're having a chat with them, but I run around, some people saying, you know, go slow. So here's a go slow. This leg needs to come up. We've drilled everything, we've got the conduit all cut, we're just a waiting game. So we sunk the boxes in so they can dab onto it and not get intrude, but we've still got the 35mm box, so we can have USB outlets, or some customers like the screwless faces, which makes us want to have deep boxes for the cables bending in the back. Just, it's a nightmare, so please don't ever get them. But yeah, we've got it going round, we've got our zonings, got our long outlets for our sockets that are going to go on the inside of cupboards, here and here, and that's going to be our final drop up. There's going to be our fuse spur going up and across for our extractor. Obviously I can't go upstairs yet. A little tip as well for any of the guys that have got the uni lights. I can't remember who I saw, but it's a fantastic tip. You just screw a mattress upside down to a ceiling, the magnet on it, because there's nothing better than having the light upward shining down rather than if you've got it on a tripod shining across, because you create a massive shadow. But like I said before, the Unilight stuff, I've got a discount code for Unilight. It's Bundy25 for 25% discount on all lights except for sale items, and I think as well the glasses and the tape measure, but you'd have to double check on that. But I'll put the link below. Go and get yourself one of these wicked ones. This one is the very bright one. This is the SLR 6000. This is the biggest and brightest light we've got. This is a tiny little bit brighter than the lantern that we've got, but it's just epic. I mean, look, if I turn this off, it's very good. So yeah, now I've sort of finished what I can do in here, I'm going to just get up and see if I can jump up with them. If not, I'm going to see if I can get the 6mm run over. It's not a very long run. The board's going to go there. I've got to bring it up across, just drop it down here. So Sodom, I'll do it by myself. I'll do it by myself and see what they're doing after. So I'm going to do old school way by myself. Feed it up there, done a little kink on it so it's up in the ceiling. I don't quite know where that is yet. Got the 6mm down, we've got it on the X board, the cable runner. So come on a journey with me under floorboards. Oh, here they are. That's got the landing up, so technically, so this is the bedroom with all the stuff in still, where the lads haven't run any cables, and this is above the kitchen. So in theory, my cable should be here. So I'm going to shift this bed around there, get the multi-tool out, pick the hill up, and have a look. You absolute silly man. The nails are very sharp. See the old kitchen wiring down here. I'll snip this out in a second, but oh, hang on, where are you, Mr. Unilight? He's here. This one is the IL275R. This is literally one of my favourites at the moment. Not there. There he is. Let me, I've got it above. Ready. Magic. So there is a wall here. As much as I'd like to drill through and pass it towards the board, I think we're just going to have to do the run onto the landing, sort of across here and around. This is going alright. I'm just using the existing holes that we've got. It's going over there. I'm not concerned about it touching these pipes because the boiler, currently the immersion is in here. There's been having a new boiler fitted in the downstairs garage down there. All of these pipes being ripped out, so if it's touching it now, it's fine. There's no power on, the heating's not on. Well, hang on. There's no central heating. Oh, my torch can fly. There's no central heating, so they would be running. Oh, that's just the hot and cold feed to the kitchen from the immersion. Ah, that makes sense. I'm gonna pull out. We've pulled a big length out. Excuse me. It's going to get to there and it's going to go that way, so I don't want to pull too much through and then to pull it back, so always leave a little bit of a loop where you can pull back from, or pull some more from this way, pull some more back from that way. Leave yourself a bit of slack, and we'll head over to the fuse board. That's it. A bit too much on it, but that's fine. It's glad that I did it, because Adam leaves about 16 metres of offcuts to take home in his car, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you do, yeah. So it's as it sounds, as easy as that is from there to there. It's never a straight run. We've had to come back on ourselves, go back and then come back again, but that's life. Super bright in here now. Kitchen is done. Kitchen power is done. So we've got our cooker up and over, our last socket, we've done the ring, brought it all up, capped it all. We've pushed all the cables where we can do into the boxes, you know, that's just popped out. This is just going to protect our cables from the plasterers and the plasterers from our cable. It helps them out a little bit, then we have to mess around. The bits that I want pulling through, we've taped together on long lengths. There, and there. That's all brought up, that's all level. I'm dead happy with it all. It's getting on a bit, it's about 3:30 now, if not a bit later. But the lads are still, I ended up going and doing all that stuff upstairs. The lads have had a bit of a stinker with running cables, with stuff in the way, with beams. For some reason it's not even a joist, it's just a 4x2 bit of wood that runs the entire way around all the brickwork, because I even had it up here, but luckily mine was about ½ inch away from the brickwork, so I could just slide up straight behind it. But all the ones they've done, they've not had a chance. There's 6 downlights going in here. The ceiling was cladded, but the ceiling is being overboarded and reusing the existing wood that's here. So I'm going to mark out roughly where I want stuff. I'll use the dade, like I've said before, with overboarding. I could do the exact same hole that I need to, which is like a 73mm, 74mm hole in the ceiling. But I can't guarantee, after the wall's been dabbed and the measurements change ever so slightly, that my new hole in the new plaster will match up with my existing hole in the ceiling. So we're going to do a 4-inch hole in the ceiling above. That'll give us plenty of wiggle room, a couple of mil either way if the measurement changes down here. but we'll get that in, we'll get the cables in place. We're gonna run the lighting in tomorrow, but I might as well get the kitchen finished off and get it all swept in a little bit. I've prepped all into corners. We'll get it clean the windowsill, and then this room will only need a light switch drop into it tomorrow and a feed in, and that should be it. So right now for the downlights, occasionally you'll hear a bang, and that's because there's a noisy young man up there banging floorboards down. Isn't that right, Adam? Just be quiet for 2 secs, please. My life. What we've done, because the ceiling's being overboarded, to find out where our joist marks are, I've been upstairs and I've poked a screwdriver, so that's the right side of the joist, left and right side, left and right side, left and right side, all the way across, so I know where my joist runs are here. That then made me get a measurement of centre of the room, side to side, 360 centimetres, so centre was 180. We marked out our 180 there, and from that you could divide it to get equal distance to the wall, but it would really, so that's the centre. If you did it, it would be a bit too close to the wall, so we brought it in. So it's 110 centimetres that side, 110 centimetres that side. It's 900 off the wall, and then behind me it's exactly a metre off the wall, allowance for the battens and all that sort of stuff. So I'm going to go around now with a 4-inch hole, dade, make all the mess, and then it's getting too late now to start running cables. And we've got a big tidy up, and then we'll jump back at the end. And there we have it, nice and clean, nice and tidy. Banging. And yes, I have pretty much spent the entire day just doing this, but I have been on the phone. I need to literally speak to my other half. I owe an employer, she does some stuff with my invoices and speaking to customers and emails, but really I need to get a second phone. I just spend hours on each day ignoring people and then trying to ring them back in the evening or answering phones and get no work done. Yeah, it's just one of them things, but I'm really happy with what we've done today. These are the holes in the ceiling, nice 4-inch holes across. Adam and Jonathan are just sticking all the capping on all the cables down here.
It's a bit too big.
Look how dark it's getting. A few more to put on. So we've got ring main for the kitchen ran in, we've got downstairs radial, upstairs radial, cooker. Just forgot, I never did the bonding. We've got the bonding to do tomorrow, and we're going to do some lighting. We'll get all the lighting done tomorrow. Shouldn't really be an issue. Give it a sweep up, and maybe a couple of hours left on Friday, but I don't think we will be, to be honest. We'll spend more time tidying up than doing anything. So so dark in here. Right, anyway, thanks for watching, guys. If you haven't already,
Subscribe.
What's the little hand thing? Subscribe. John might be with us tomorrow, he might not, it's all depending on things. So yeah, you've still enjoyed today? Still want to be an electrician?
Yeah.
Good. Do you need to? Adam doesn't want to be an electrician anymore. What? What did you just say?
Nothing.
You want to be a plumber?
No.
Get out. You can walk home. You already smell. I can smell it. So thanks for watching, guys. Take care now. Bye bye then.